Hello everyone, immediately clicking on this video to dislike it, and welcome to another super base freaking disputed origin video. Just kidding, I wish I was as cool as he is. Instead, I'm just that autist that everyone likes to make fun of because I don't think he should balance a PvE game and railroad everyone to play Eclipse 8. So in this video, I'm going over the most overrated items in Risk of Rain 2. I will rank 10 items that I believe to be overrated. So if you don't like that this is not another rant video, please unsubscribe and go back to watching Pudson Gaming or something. Alright, well with that pointless bullshit out of the way, let's start the video. So coming in at number 10, we have the Crowdfunder. It's funny, a lot of people actually like this item, even the Eclipse players. I just don't see it. First of all, it costs you 1 gold per bullet, which may seem trivial at first until you realize that it ramps up attack speed, and at the maximum, you only can fire 15 bullets a second. That's 15 gold a second, and that's not mentioning the fact that this actually scales with time. Sure, you can get Brittle Crown and the most underrated item in the game in War of Pennies, but I think even then, this is the worst equipment in the whole entire game. Furthermore, you can't even use Bottled Chaos with this since it's a toggle equipment and not an activation one. That isn't to say it doesn't have its uses, but at that point, you should just get another equipment. At number 9, we have Long-Standing Solitude. This is pretty much the boom or bust item. And really, it can only be boom if you get gold items, especially War of Pennies. Otherwise, in most cases, it's a dogshit item. It is pretty funny to stack this item in multiplayer so you can be an absolute Jew. And at number 8, we have Sonorous Whispers. It's pretty much Artifact of Sacrifice, the item. It really only shines through in looped runs, and even then, all you're gonna get is white items. Hell, some people even think this is the best item in the game, even better than Clover. Which, funny enough, Clover actually makes this item way better than it actually is. It's only so low on the list because it is a good item, but not the best item in the game. Number 7, Ceremonial Daggers. Now, daggers can be powerful, especially when stacked, but they need a lot of setup to work. You will need Forgive Me Please with preferably a Soulbound Catalyst and some on-hit items. It does help take care of like Wisp, and it can be used to cheese in Sky Meadow, but that's pretty much all this item has going for it. If you're already killing things that fast, I don't think you really need Ceremonial Daggers. The sad part about this is that I actually like the item, but I just have to be realistic, it's overrated as hell. At number 6, Plasma Shrimp. The amount of times I see players pick this over ATG is fucking insane. First of all, you have to have shield up or else this item becomes a paperweight for 7 seconds, assuming if you don't get hit. Okay, well what if you have a Transcendence? I'd still take ATG over Plasma Shrimp. With 1 stack, each missile will do 40% damage, which is fine, except for the fact that it has a proc coefficient of 0.2, meaning items like Ukulele and Polyloot will only proc at 5% instead of 25%. The only time I really ever use this item is if I'm playing Commando or Huntress and I don't have a Clover. And even then, it's a maybe. Number 5 is Safer Spaces. People who dick suck this item are probably in safe spaces. Unless if you have a lot of teddy bears, there's really no reason to get Safer Spaces. And even then, I'll probably rather take the 30 teddy bears over the 30 Safer Spaces. Teddy bears are maybe inconsistent compared to Safer Spaces, but at the very least they can block multiple instances of damage. But don't worry, pretentious Eclipse players will use the same old tile response of just don't get hit. Well, eventually you are gonna get hit, and multiple times too. Although even then, I would say that this is more of a side grade than an upgrade. At number 4, we have Spare Drone Ports. Now, the only reason why this item is popular is because Disputed Origin made a video of beating Eclipse 8 with Spare Drone Ports and Empathy Cores. But there's a few things he failed to mention in that video. Number 1, he was playing Loader, so he did not account for mobility. And number 2, this item takes a lot of money to invest in. And if your drones go down, and they will go down, it's gonna cost even more because of the time scaling. Again, another great item in its own niche, but it's definitely not better than Clover. Number 3, recycler. The eclipse darling. Sure, rerolling an item can be good, but it can also be fucking terrible. Also, this equipment has a 45-second cooldown, so you can't always do this instantly. And if you're going for Mithrix or hell, even looping, this item becomes fucking worthless. It's too RNG dependent to be called one of the best equipments in the game. Now some of you midwits in the audience might be saying, well, what about Clover? It needs on-hit items to work. Yeah, but here's the thing. Clover does affect you even without on-hit items by increasing your crit chance. And even if it is just 2% crit on average, it's still a huge increase. And not to mention, when you do get the items you want, which is very likely, Clover will always be useful. So not exactly a great comparison. Number 2, delicate watches. This is another overrated item. I really hate players dick sucking. It's okay for damage, but once you get hit and make a huge mistake, well, there goes your damage and possibly your run. If I really wanted damage, I would either get crit glasses, armor piercing rounds, focus crystal, pretty much anything other than watches. It's way too risky to be an item that you print all your white items into. And finally, at number 1, head stompers. Oh man, where do I begin with this item? Eclipse players love this item. They will fucking die on this hill to claim that this is the best item in the game. First of all, it needs a lot of items to get working. Most importantly, mobility. Well, okay, what if I'm playing Artificer with Ion Surge or Loader? Okay, yeah, you're playing 2 burst damage characters. Do you really need this item? Alright then, let's just say you're Engineer and you somehow got enough mobility to make this work. Well, you're gonna need damage items because this only scales with base damage and not total damage. Now 10,000 at its max potential is a lot of damage, but it falls off without any proper damage items like ATG or even bands. You will also need some defensive items as well, because if you don't kill the enemy that you're targeting, which by the way Head Stompers is fucking terrible at, then you're gonna be a sitting duck in the middle of a horde of enemies. And also on the full stack you go on this 10-second cooldown, which you cannot use the item again. And don't bother stacking this because it only affects the cooldown. So ultimately, the power from this item really depends on how many bands or ATGs or ukuleles or any on-hit items you have. And also if you can be able to reach its maximum potential of 10,000% damage. And anyone that praises this item to be one of the best in the game is an instant red flag to me that you're a pretentious retard that thinks they're so smart because they play Eclipse 8. You're like, dude, you're not a genius, you're a fucking loser. Just accept it. Overall, this is just the most overrated item in the game. And you know what's the funny part about all this? I find the actual utility of Head Stompers way more useful than the damage. That's just fucking insane. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for this video. Well, I'm gonna go shower and water my plants. Goodbye.